issues, I mean, we're losing our jobs because we owe $13 trillion because of a 7-year war with no end in sight. It wouldn't make sense to me to want to invest in that kind of situation, and in fact, people haven't been. Local issues are very closely connected to the federal issues and global issues.
Would you just pull out? What would you do about the war if you are against it?
I'd stop funding it directly. I'd come home tomorrow. I think we keep getting new humane reasons for staying, but there's nothing humane about war. There's never been a time in history where people have started wars for humane reasons. A big thing is women's rights, for example. Well, it turns out that the living conditions of women are directly related to the condition of the country. If you have a war-torn country, it makes sense that the rights of women aren't so good in that country. We are causing more problems than we're solving over there, and the faster we get out, the faster they will be able to decide their own course. But for the last, I don't know how many years, it seems like every time they make a step in the right direction, an industrialized nation decides to go over there and bomb them in the name of, women's suffrage or some other great cause, and bring them back to where they started from. And warlords only exist because, they feed off war. Without it, the society would be able to evolve and destroy warlords from the inside out. We're just making it worse, and we're prolonging it, and it doesn't make sense to me.
Joe, you said you lived in Spain for a couple of years?
Yeah.
Is that correct? What experiences did you encounter over there that affect the way you think about life, and particularly in the responsibility of government, so to speak?
Well, I've sort of seen different parts of Spain over there. I was there as a student in Sevilla. I lived in a cave in Granada for 9 months without water or electricity. And then recently I've been living in a city on the Mediterranean for like 3 years now. I mean, they were all different experiences. I spent a lot of time just sort of reading and writing, getting my own thoughts down. I mean, I'm still, I'm 25 years old. I'm not the most experienced person to get this position. But I feel like of all the experience that people in Washington have, they're not doing anything good with it. Anyone can learn, but if you don't have the ideas if you don't have new ideas, then we're just sort of rearranging something that's broken. And I think my lack of experience is refreshing, and I haven't climbed the ladder, and I'm proud of that.
Sure. What would you do about the illegal immigrants in the country, John? What would your answer be?
I would stop the Free Trade Act, try to improve living conditions in other countries, indirectly, not by giving them money, but simply by changing our policy. We're $13 trillion in debt. Even if we wanted to, it seems like we can't afford getting more police, building a wall. I think that's a terrible idea. But even if we wanted to, we have to balance the budget. We can't have everything we want. And they're talking about paying for trips to export people back to where they came from. That just seems like an unnecessary expense to me, when a lot of these people are actually paying taxes to fake Social Security numbers, which only benefit the people who have real Social Security numbers in the long run. In some ways, illegal immigrants pay more taxes. In other ways, they get around stuff. But I'd like to stop the problem from where it started, as opposed to just sort of, building a dike against the tide.
So, you were saying, and if I'm paraphrasing it correctly, please correct me, basically our economic system, it doesn't work anymore.
Well, it's,
Okay.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm saying, like I said, if my phrasing is wrong, please correct me. And you've mentioned a couple times ending free trade is one of your solutions. What are the things that you see is not working, and how would you fix them?
Well, okay, well, ending free trade, I think we could either end free trade, or we could just have a free trade policy with other nations that have certain working conditions that meet certain requirements in an effort to stop immigrants who are making 10 cents a day where they come from, and then they say, oh, well, America's great, there's there's peace over there, there's all these jobs, and I can make $5 an hour. So, just do free trade with nations who have, a level of working conditions that are acceptable. What was the other part of it?
Basically, and I had to go back to my notes to try to get the wording right, but you said, I believe you said something along the lines of, a lot of our problems fit under an economic system that's not serving us anymore.
Yeah.
Okay, that's how I meant to ask it. You've mentioned free trade as something that's not working for us as a specific, but also, how beyond free trade is, because free trade is obviously one part of our system. How is the system not working for us anymore as a general rule, and beyond changes to free trade, how would you try to fix some of those things?
Okay. Well, it's not that the system is completely not working for us, but we're coming to a point in history. I mean, we started out as the 13 colonies. We expanded across North America. Now, we kept on sort of expanding our influence. But we've reached a point where we can see there's no more expansion to be had unless we want to go the route of sort of total war. So we're coming to, it's not that we're through with the system is come and gone, it's that we're on the last segment of it. And I think the sooner we realize that and change it, the easier it will be for us in the long run. I mean, mathematically speaking, the time is coming. We can delay it or we can foresee it. So what else can we do to solve?
I guess, so you said, basically we're sort of coming to, and this is my terminology, not yours, sort of coming to the end of an age. So at the end of the time period where this is going to work. What is the next step? What is the next thing we ought to do?
I think acknowledge it, first of all.
Okay.
I think a big part of it is education and bringing up the next generation in a certain way of thinking. Such as? Well, I mean, right now what we're taught in schools was basically what needed to be taught 50 years ago to solve the problems of their future. We need to solve the problems of our future. So we need to incorporate that into our schools. Teach kids to stop using so much energy. Turn the light out when you're done with it, for example. The same methods they implemented in World War II to get people to use less resources to conserve for the war effort, we could do now to conserve for an environmental effort. Those strategies worked. They work again. Another thing is, let me think here. Well, education is a huge part of it.